Good morning, Year 2. So for our spelling lesson today, I want you to have a look at these pictures first of all and see if you can guess what the link is between these pictures, what the spelling link is. We've got a picture of a worm, but the word is wriggle. We've got a wrapper. We've got someone wrapping up a present. There's a wreck. There's a cross, which means wrong. There's someone writing. There's two people wrestling. And then there's someone pointing to a wrinkle. There's an arrow pointing to a wrist. So you've probably noticed they all start with a r sound. But the tricky bit about these words is that they actually start with a WR. So it's a silent W. You can hear the r, but not the W. So what I want you to do is have a go at sounding out these words. So we've got wrinkle, we've got wrist, we've got wriggle. We've got a wrapper and a wreath like you put on the door at Christmas. This is a shipwreck. He is wrapping up the present. They are wrestling or just wrestle. That means it's wrong. And this one, it could be right or wrote, couldn't it? So I want you to pause the screen and have a go at sounding out the rest of those words yourself. So let's start with an easy one. Which is the easiest one? I think wrapper is quite easy. So it's r, and it's a double P because it's got the short sound. So you use the double consonant. Let's try wriggle, r, and it's another double consonant word. It's got a sound on the end. Wrist, so wrist. Wrinkle, in, it's a kicking k, and then it's another word. Let's try wreath. It's got EA, making the long E sound. And then we've got wreck, and that's got both k's, curly k and kicking k. So wrapper, we've got wrapper, so wrapping is now a bit easy because we know the first bit with the double P. And we could put ing on the end. Wrestle, now this one is quite tricky, so it's an a s, and then it's almost got like a silent T and another on the end, so wrestle. Wrong, it's got O-N-G, wrong, and then right is a split digraph. So you can either do the I version or you could put wrote for the past tense, and that has got a split O sound. So make sure you've written those neatly in your book now. This is the book that we're going to be looking at this week, and we're going to use it to inspire some of our writing. Now, looking at the picture, the illustration on the cover, I think you can guess that this is a fiction book. And it's called Flanimals, and it's by Ricky Gervais. And it's quite an interesting book, because although it's fiction, it's made up characters, it's actually written as if it's a non-fiction book. So it's got a contents page. Chapter 1 is the spotter's guide. Chapter 2 is Flanimal behaviour. And chapter 3 is Flanimal testing. So it's written as if it's about real creatures. I'm going to read you some of the examples. So here we've got the coddle flop. Slurdles around, absorbing stains and puddles. Its only defence is to flip over to protect its soft top. Unfortunately, its bottom is equally soft and it's instantly squashed if trodden on. So we've got unfortunately in there, a bit like we used when we're doing our elephant writing. Well, this one is the plam or the flam glottis. Born without feet, it swallows its hands to walk on to find food. Obviously, when it finds food, it can't eat because its mouth is full. We've got an obviously in there as well. This one's quite cute. Mernibbler. Mernibblers live on honey water and the softer bits of clouds. They stay this way for some time, then turn into adults when someone says, "Oh, look at those cute mernibblers. I think I'll stroke one." So that's the baby. And then this is the adult. Adult mernibbler. Eats everything it sees and dies of chronic indigestion. Now, if you notice, it's got some words in brackets. That says gruntling flumpamorphis. Now, these are all made up words, and that's because in science books about animals, it has the Latin name for the animal underneath. So it's sort of written like a science book, and this one is a gruntling flumpamorphis. So that's their scientific name. So we're going to use these ideas to inspire some of our own writing, and I will read you a few more pages of the book each day. This is one of the amazing fantasy characters from the book. Now, what we're going to do with this character is we're going to start off thinking about the nouns. So that's the bits of the character, just like we did with the elephant. We're going to do exactly the same thing, but this time with a fantasy imaginary character. So let's look at the nouns. It's got a tail. It's got, could be a foot or feet, couldn't it? It's got teeth. It's got eyes. It's also got like eye stalks, hasn't it? Eyes. It's got skin. It's got, oh, it's definitely got dribble. That's a double B because of the ear. And I'm going to do something you can't see. Breath. But you can definitely imagine it. Oh, and it's got an ear there as well. So once you've got the nouns, then you can turn them into noun phrases. So you're going to be thinking of adjectives to describe the nouns. So just the same as when we were describing the elephant. We could have a long curly tail, and you can use commas to separate adjectives just like you can with a list of nouns. So he's got a long curly tail. He's got wrinkled, one of those words there, wrinkled, blue skin. What can I say about his ear? Small pointed ear, small pointed. And he has got two of them, let's make it ears. Small pointed ears, white, are they bulgy eyes? Bulgy eyes. Now this is much easier when we're in the classroom because then you can give me all your brilliant ideas and I'm having to think of all of my own now. Let's see, I'm going to leave his teeth, that's a bit tricky. Dribble. Let's have disgusting. Disgusting. Smelly. Dribble. And what about his breath? That's not going to be nice, is it? Let's have revolting. Revolting. Fishy breath. Revolting fishy breath. What about the foot? Now I think I'd like to use smelly for the foot, so I might cross it out there and change that in a minute. So we're going to have, let's have massive. Massive. Smelly foot. Massive smelly foot. So if I rub out that one, let's think of another thing for the dribble, because we've already got the breath is smelly as well, so we need something else. Let's have slimy, because it looks slimy. So now we've got disgusting slimy dribble, massive smelly foot, teeth. Now they're huge. They're very uneven, aren't they? They're not all the same size. And what could you call that shape? They're not sharp, I think they're rectangular. Rectangular teeth. So your challenge now is to design your own fantasy imaginary character. So you're going to draw your character. It doesn't matter if you're not that great at drawing, because you're going to use your words to describe the character. So I want some noun phrases. So you're going to look at what different bits. It might have 10 eyes, it might have 2 heads, it might have 3 tails. And then you're going to write down the noun phrases. So you're going to use adjectives to describe each of the noun. It doesn't have to be in a whole sentence. It's just going to be a label, just like I've done here. So I've had a go myself. This is my first attempt. So what could we say about this one? So it's got a massive red nose. Massive red nose. It's got 3 blue eyes. 3 blue eyes. You can do arrows to the different bits. I'm not sure what these are. They're like antennae up here, aren't they? They look like they're glowing red. Maybe they do something special. It's got a pointed dotty tail. I think it's got razor sharp teeth. Razor sharp teeth. Now the difference between doing this and doing the elephant is it doesn't matter what you say. Even if you find drawing a bit tricky, you can use words to describe it. So if there's something you really wanted to draw but you weren't sure about drawing it, you can just write it down in words, because the words have to put a picture in people's heads. So you can draw what you like and you can label it how you like. How many legs has this one got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9! He's got an uneven number of legs. So 9 tiny pink legs. And what we're going to do later on in the week is think about what these features might do. So these glowing bright yellow antennae, what do they actually do? What does it do with that pointed spiky tongue? Is it poisonous? So I could do that. I'm going to put poisonous up here because that's quite a good one. Poisonous pointed dotty tail. So you're going to think of, as we go through the week, some different features and what they are used for, and find out more about your animal. Now, it doesn't have to be like a monster. It could be like a little flutterbug, and you can think of a name for it. So this could be the twirly rainbow winged flutterbug. I'm sure you can think of much better names than that. So it's up to you how you name your creature, and I really look forward to seeing some of them. So either sent in to me as an email, or you can just hold them up on Zoom. I look forward to seeing what your imaginations can come up with. The TLP for your task is, can I use noun phrases to label an imaginary creature? So remember, that means using adjectives and nouns to describe them.